Are you eating the way you've always been eating and the weight has been creeping up and you just somehow can't get it off? So you've been told eat less, exercise more, and you tried that and it still didn't work. The scale's not budging. And now you're not having energy. And now you're having cravings. Like, where did all that come from? Now you're thinking, what am I doing wrong? But what if you're asking the wrong questions? What if it isn't something you're doing wrong? What if your gut is in there and playing a bigger role than you thought it was? So let's look at how your gut may be connected to your energy levels, your cravings, and even the weight that you can't get off, and where you can start making some changes. You know how you start out your day and you're feeling pretty darn good, and by the middle of the afternoon, all you want to do is lie down and take a nap, or drink a pot of coffee, or eat a whole bunch of chocolate. By the way, it's okay to have a little chocolate. And then when you get home at the end of the day, you think, if I can just sit down and get a quick nap, maybe I'll have enough energy to get through the rest of my evening. Now, there's a lot of reasons this can be happening during perimenopause, including hormones, but your gut is in there too. So, our gut breaks down the food we eat and absorbs the nutrients that helps keep our body going. So, if your gut can't do its job well, that's one of the reasons you may be having less energy. So when that afternoon slump hits, instead of grabbing another cup of coffee or a candy bar, think about eating a snack with some protein, fiber, and fat. And that's just going to give your body the fuel to keep going instead of getting that quick burst of energy. Those cravings, you know, that feeling, suddenly all you can think about is chocolate, or maybe it's the chips or cookies or whatever's in the pantry. And before you know it, you're standing in front of that pantry thinking, what the heck am I even looking for? Now, there's a lot of things that can trigger cravings during perimenopause. Sometimes it's your blood sugar. So, when your blood sugar drops, your body wants that quick energy, and the sugar or simple carbohydrates are the fastest way to get it. Sometimes it's serotonin. So, with the changes in estrogen, your serotonin levels can change. So, your brain starts looking for that feel good boost, and sugar and carbohydrates can provide it. Sometimes it's your gut. So, some of the bacteria living in our gut thrive on sugar, and changes in our microbiome, the bacteria, may influence the foods you crave. And sometimes it's just simply stress. So when life gets overwhelming, those sugary, carby comfort foods become even more appealing because, at least for a little while, they make us feel better. And then those cravings can leave you very frustrated because they make it harder for you to control your weight. And during perimenopause, there are so many things that affect how your weight is controlled. You throw in some hormones, the blood sugar swings, poor sleep, chronic stress, loss of muscle, and your gut into the mix, and it just becomes a whole big mess. And it makes it harder for you to control your weight. So now you're probably sitting there thinking, what the heck are we going to do about it all? Because one thing leads to another. So let's look at what I call the midlife plate. It's an easy way to get what you need to do without a whole lot of work. So, when you're making your plate, what you want to do is not get a really big plate, but get a smaller plate, but make half of that plate non starchy vegetables. Another third of it should be a high quality protein. And what's left, make it a starchy vegetable, whole grains, or a combination of both. So let's talk about those non-starchy vegetables because you're probably sitting there thinking, you want me to eat all that vegetables? So there's a whole lot of reason those non-starchy vegetables are important. First of all, they're not going to affect your blood sugar the way a starchy vegetable or a whole grain will. When that happens, you're not getting those swings with the blood sugar, and that keeps you much more stable and not craving as much. Plus, there's fiber in there that's going to help fill you up. It's going to help keep things moving through. Plus, it feeds the beneficial bacteria in there. And the deal is when our hormones start changing, estrogen starts going down, it affects our microbiome, and we get some of those non beneficial bacteria taking over, and they're the ones that thrive on the sugar. So those non-starchy vegetables are going to help feed them less, and they're actually helping to feed the beneficial bacteria. So, on top of it all, those vegetables are packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and even plant compounds that are going to support your body in many other ways during midlife. So, you're getting good sources of nutrients like magnesium, vitamin C, and the B vitamins that are all important for energy, immune function, and overall health. Now, that third of the plate where you want the good quality protein, during midlife, protein becomes very, very important for us. As our estrogen begins to decline, we start to lose muscle mass. So, you want to work on getting 25 to 35 grams per meal to help support and maintain your muscles. Plus, protein also helps keep blood sugar more stable. So, we're not having those energy crashes, we're not having those cravings. We're more satisfied after a meal, and we don't get as hungry sooner. Plus, the protein is helping us maintain the muscles and the lining of our digestive tract. And we want to make sure that lining is protected so only the good things pass through. Now, the rest of your plate is those starchy vegetables or whole grains or a combination. So, foods like legumes, lentils, sweet potatoes, oats, brown rice, and quinoa are not only providing your body with energy, but they give fiber, vitamins, and minerals, and they're going to help support a healthy gut. Finally, adding 1 to 2 tablespoons of a healthy fat. The healthy fats keep us feeling satisfied much longer after a meal, so you're not going to get as many cravings and you're not going to eat as often because you're not going to get hungry so soon. But they're also going to help your body absorb the vitamins A, D, E, and K that are so important in our overall health and our immunity. So, good choices of healthy fats are olives and olive oil, avocados and avocado oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish like salmon and mackerel. Now, when you start building your plate this way, you're naturally going to get more of those foods that are going to nourish your body and support your gut. What are a few of the other things you can be doing? Making sure you're getting plenty of water. So, about half your body weight in ounces. When your body is dehydrated, it starts looking for water. So, we get a craving. Your body's asking for water, but we take it as craving for other things. So, we start looking at the other foods. That's going to start affecting weight. And then movement. Get some sort of movement. I love to call it joyful movement. Do the things that make you feel good, that it doesn't feel like punishment. It's not exercise. Whatever that may look like, whether it's getting out and doing a walk in nature or shutting all the lights off in the house, turning the music up and dancing, jumping on a rebounder, whatever feels good for you, and making sure you're getting some strength training in there too. It helps with weight control, but it also helps manage stress. And when our estrogen goes down, cortisol tends to become higher. So we have a harder time managing our stress. Stress affects our digestion also. So, under times of stress, we tend to overeat. It changes how our body functions. So, we're not going to be able to lose weight during that time. So, making sure you're finding ways to decrease your stress. It could be exercising. See, we made that circle there. Or it could be sitting and reading a book. It could be doing deep breathing, journaling, whatever feels good that's going to get you into this rest and digest mode. And sleep. Make sure you're prioritizing your sleep because when we're not getting enough sleep, our body starts doing more cravings. So, work on a good bedtime routine to help with sleep. Now, all these changes may be common during midlife, but that doesn't mean you just have to live with it. So, you're probably sitting there thinking, holy cow, this is a whole lot. What can I do? Well, find just one small change to start with and build from there. Those consistent changes are going to give you a much stronger foundation than any supplements might. But that doesn't mean supplements don't have a place, but the trick is knowing which ones are actually worth taking and which ones are expensive bottles with big promises and expensive pee. As you walk down those supplement aisles at the store, it gets very overwhelming. There's hundreds of products all promising more energy, better sleep, fewer hot flashes, and weight loss. But which ones are actually worth your money? That's what I'm going to start with in the next video. And if you're looking for more support, you're ready to do more than just one small change, check out the description for my link. Let's set up a time, let's chat, and help you figure out what's going to work for you. Now, leave me a comment with your biggest, baddest, burning questions because your question just might become my next video.